Yes, YouTube, baby. Oh, we just had like a 50-minute conversation off air that I'm like, this probably would have been great for the YouTube.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
I know. Let's just redo it.
Oh, okay. Did you watch the eclipse today, man?
I did, though, like we didn't have where, like in Shelbyville, it wasn't as like crazy. Like Bree called me after hers because Evansville had it like full on. Did you guys like how was yours like the proper
Yep.
nice? So
There was like a projected like 1 million people in St. Louis today.
that's crazy. Yeah, like the Evansville Bree was saying was have like had a like I wasn't a state of like she kept calling it a state of emergency, but it wasn't a state of emergency, but it was just like they were like, yeah, make sure you guys have water and all your food and gas in your cars because there's too many people here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was like that here too. And I told this to Casey off air, but uh I went to the driving range today at like 10:30 and the total eclipse wasn't until like 2 p.m. So I took like a back, well, not a back road, but like I did not take the highway. I checked the GPS and I was like, absolutely not. So took a different route to get there. And like, by the way, it was just a gorgeous day today.
It
It was
was.
like 72 degrees. The driving range wasn't too busy. So like I, it was like starting to happen while that was going on, and then I took the same route back home, beat all the crazy traffic. That would have been much worse on my way back because obviously heading towards the city, that's where everybody was going to be. Uh, but yeah, so I I noticed when I was here at home when the sky was getting a lot darker around 2 o'clock, so I didn't have any of the fancy glasses or anything, but I peeked my head out the window and was like, "Oh, yep, there it is." And then I went right back to my video games.
And now you're like, and now I'm blind.
And now I'm blind. Yeah. So,
No,
but yeah.
like I mean, I I got some of the fancy glasses and I got to look through it. I'm like, this is neat, but it's also with where I was anyway. It was very much like, oh yeah, it is like the pictures you see.
Hmm. Yeah, I had several friends that were like doing the whole shebang. And one of my friends even drove about an hour south, and like did a little camp out with some buddies last night into today to watch it. Which it's like, okay, that would be like way more enjoyable, even though I'm not a big camper, way more enjoyable than like being in downtown St. Louis,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Because
Bree was
the
talking.
traffic delays were like 4 hours.
Yeah, Bree was saying that there was actually like since Evansville's on the river, there was people on boats out on the river. I'm like,
Mm.
that would be pretty cool. The
Yeah,
after would suck,
yeah,
but
yeah, for sure.
like we had family that came past last week and they're both retired and like the um because it'd be my dad's cousin and her husband is like super into like astronomy and shit. And so like they were driving like the long route to Dallas because they had family there and they're gonna watch the eclipse there. And like so then he had like a whole stack of the glasses and that's how we got our glasses.
Yeah, every like so Brielle was talking about the Chick-fil-A that's right by her clinic. The manager brought over a bunch of glasses for all of them and like the patients and stuff too. It's just like like the most random people were getting stacks of glasses and handing
Yeah.
them out. But I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Make sure
I think
everybody can check it out.
it'd be funny if the ones Brielle got were like said something about like had the cows on it and it's like like whatever the cows say because it's
Eat
something like
Chimkin.
yeah it's
Yeah. Like, so my favorite brewery here, they're normally closed on Mondays, but they opened up today. They were like, come grab a beer and look at the eclipse. And I'm like, man, that sounds pretty cool, but I'm the only one I know that's off today, so I'd have to go by myself, which like I could take a book to read and when, that would be totally fine. But again, it's like getting back home afterwards, which is
Hmm.
it's just not worth it. So
Yeah. Dude, it was funny. Like Evansville, they shut like Bree's college was shut down today, so they didn't have, no class. Her work was shut down, like a bunch of shit with like this basically the whole town, like unless you were like Walmart or maybe fast food, you were shut down there.
yeah. Yeah, I know that like a lot of people took today off, but most of my friends were all like, nah, we gotta go in.
Yeah,
So well, anything else before we get into the episode?
I don't think so. Oh, no, because if they're watching this on YouTube, they already saw it on YouTube, so we'll just bring that up on the old regular podcast part.
All right, then I will kick us off here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Blythe to my Ronnie. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you? And that's Elden Ring people, I'm assuming, since you've been playing that a lot.
Sure is. Sure
Nice.
is. You are the guy that I spent 2 hours fighting today.
Nice.
But I won. So had to tell everybody here that doesn't give a shit.
But hey, there's also the people here that are like, nice, man.
Yeah.
And then there's at least one of them that's like, it took you 2 hours, it only took me an hour and a half.
And to that I say, I'm trash at this game, so just be proud of me.
Man,
But
okay. You've not played Monster Hunter before, have you, or have you?
I have not.
So I played the one that's on PS4. I don't know the name of it, but I like it for the most part. But my problem with it is it takes forever for like some of the monster fights because like once the monsters get down really low, they're like, see ya, and they run off, and then you have to like retrack them, and you have to do it like 2 to 4 times, and it's just like, guys, I don't want to keep doing this. Like, I just want to kill this thing and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's super funny. The testing room boys are all huge fans of Monster Hunter, and I've listened to them talk about it a lot. And it sounds fun, but it also sounds like it's way more fun with people.
Oh, probably.
And it's one of those things where it's like, man, it is hard enough for us at this point in our lives to get a gaming session going anyways. It's like I don't need to add one other franchise to try and do that with.
Yeah. And then like I guess because like from just me reading shit online, like I guess the Monster Hunter I've played, it's like it's made for knuckleheads like me, like ones that have never played. Like for us, like people that haven't played Monster Hunter before, but then like the actual Monster Hunter heads are like, this one's trash. They made it so much more like user friendly.
A typical nerd response there.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, we do have some YouTube comments. Um, First one comes from our pal Gerblaw. I know he always says that we don't need to read his comments, but
Too
we're doing
bad.
it anyways because he took the time to talk to us. So he says, my Mount Rushmore of Batman villains would be Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, and Ra's al Ghul. that is based on my belief on their importance to Batman, not my favorites. To both of your points, Bane is one of my all-time favorite characters. However, he's only really known for the one arc, and I like him best in Secret Six. And when I was a kid, there was an old cartoon where Mr. Freeze was the scariest guy, and he had a fishbowl on his head. Then he says, and my favorite Bond movie is probably any with Jaws, and my favorite Bond is Pierce Brosnan. Attaboy, Nick. We have the same favorite. Also,
You guys,
Nick,
you guys just like him because he's hot.
well, I mean, that helps. Also, Nick, I read volume one of, I think, technically the third series of Secret Six for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Which I think was like Gail Simone's yeah, it was Gail Simone and Nicholas Scott. They're like proper ongoings. I think series two is also a mini series. But anyway, I really liked it. I think Bane's relationship with Scandal Savage, I think her name is. At least maybe I'm way off on that
Well,
character.
no, I mean there is Scandal Savage. I know that for sure because I've heard him talk about her, but I don't know if that's who
Yeah,
you're thinking of or not.
maybe. There's like a character that Bane, like he's like, I need to be her father figure. Uh which is great. Turns out to be one of the best parts of the whole series, how he interacts with her. So anyway, I really liked it and I plan on continuing that series eventually. But
Yeah, the stuff Nick tells me about with that series, it sounds super cool. But like it's also sounds like Gail was getting, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like she's getting like the spare parts, like where it's like this is not an A book, so like we need this character, we're taking them, and then Gail's like, well, fuck, I have to write around this. It sounds like there's a lot of that.
yeah, I mean, which makes sense. You look
Yeah,
at the team and you're like, who? Apart from, Bane and Catman.
yeah,
So, and even then, I wouldn't say Catman is that well known. It's just we know who he is.
yeah. And like
So,
with Catman, it really sounds like she kind of made him,
mhm.
like where like people were like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. It's because of
Yeah,
Gale.
yeah,
Now, if I remember right, Ragdoll is in that, and like it's not the same, but it could be the same one that was in Starman. Like it was like that type of thing.
right.
Just like how like the end of Starman, it was like, who's this? This is Ragdoll. Like, oh, is it the same one? Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
Maybe Gail was just a big fan, in which case that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But all right, thank you, Nick. The other one is from Eric. And this is in regards to the Scooby-Doo Fantastic Four. Scooby-Doo, where are you? What's new, Scooby-Doo? Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and the Johnny Bravo Scooby-Doo crossover episode. I remember
That's
that
a
one too. It's a
Yeah,
good
that
one.
one's a really good pull because I forgot about that, but I'm like, yeah, no, that one's great. They did such a good job with that crossover because all of the characters, like it was like had in jokes, but all the characters still seemed like themselves, like, a little bit sillier, but that's about it.
Yeah. Johnny hitting on Daphne and Velma the whole time is just so funny.
And then like the one joke where this is like one of the parts that I remember it had us all laughing when we were younger. It was the when they're like, let's split up, gang. Like Daphne says that, and she's like, me and Velma. And then Fred's like, Daphne? It's like me and Fred.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate your comment there. And I think that catches us up there. Really appreciate everybody commenting these last
Yeah.
few weeks. It's great. Please keep it up.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that to know people are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into the news, man. You've got a couple more than me. It was pretty light week for news, at
Pretty
least for
much,
me.
yeah.
So go
Dude,
ahead.
did you have any trouble with the Google Doc this week?
No, I don't think so.
All right, because it was weird. I'd pull it up and then it would just kick me out of just our podcast one. Like I could go to the Anime Boys one, or I could go to any of our other ones, but like the main one would just be like, nope. And I'm like,
Huh.
I'm still an owner on this. Like I don't know what the deal is. And then like 2 days went by and I could get back on. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
I have no idea.
But so I'll start with this. Adam Wingard says he wants to pay homage to Destroya and Baby Godzilla in the next film. So that could be cool. I don't think we'll see, I mean, either of them, but we'll probably get, like I said, like just something that kind of hints at him, which could be, like I said, could be really cool. I mean, really cool but if we could get like Destroya, it'd be really cool to see what that would look like with the MonsterVerse special effects. Because I
Right.
think he's one of the coolest looking monsters anyway.
I had to Google him real quick to make sure I wasn't confusing him, but yeah, he is dope.
Yeah, he is the ugly crab boy. Not,
Crab slash bat.
yeah, I should have said crustacean because he's not. It's not really a crab, but
Yeah, man, there's some dope art out there though.
yeah. There's also on Twitter some stuff that you do not want to see, probably,
Yeah, yeah, don't go to Twitter for your kaiju art, please.
or any art. Let's be honest here,
Yeah.
because I sent you that Damian Wayne Batman one, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. I'm like,
Unfortunately.
yeah. I was like, if I thought so. I was like, I know I thought about sending it to you. I wasn't sure if I did or didn't. Robert Kirkman said he wants every episode of Invincible season 3 to feel like a finale. It's just gonna be a fucking um like roller coaster that's always just going down. You're just like, oh, every time, like, oh shit, this is, so could be cool. That's kind of how like some of the later seasons of um My Hero has felt. And it's pretty great. And then at the very end, they're like, "Hey, we gotta do this bake sale for our friends." So
Drives me
maybe
fucking crazy.
maybe they'll do something to kind of like bring it all back down.
Yeah, I don't know. I also think I'm not saying he can't, but I also think that that's pretty tricky. And man, if I were a creator, I would never say that. It's like
Yeah,
you are putting expectations way too high.
yeah.
All right. Um, so Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action show, replaced the showrunner this week. So I don't know if, and I really don't know if the show didn't meet like viewing expectations, um, or if there's something else behind the scenes there. But yeah, that's happening.
I'm assuming it has to be something behind the scenes just because they've renewed it for season 2 and 3 already. So it's
Maybe
probably,
it's OnlyFans.
maybe it is. Okay, so speaking of people that we wish had OnlyFans, Alan Richson says, I want to be Bruce Wayne. He said that in one interview. Then he's got it brought it back up again. He's like, no, no, no. I need to reiterate how badly I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I'll say this. I love Alan Richson. I think he's too beefy to be Bruce.
I mean, the one thing, it's like I see what you're saying, but at the same time, Bruce is a fucking unit.
Yes.
We haven't seen that in the movies really, but
All I mean, and I know you know what I mean, is like whenever somebody gets cast or we see a hero, we're asking ourselves, where's the beef? Because we want them to look like Alan Richson
hmm
just looks.
Yep.
So for him, I don't know. It's like I'd rather he be Hawkman. I think he'd be a perfect Hawkman.
I don't know. We've both seen Reacher, He's not hairy enough.
Yeah, you're right. But man, just the two leather straps and like a mace in one hand and a fucking scimitar or whatever they want to give him in the other one, I think he'd look so cool.
Yeah, but you know, I'm fine with him being Bruce Wayne. It would really depend on the script though, because it's just like the main problem with getting such a beefcake to be Batman, old corn sweat is not going to get that big. No
Hmm.
offense to him. Like he's gonna get bigger. But I don't think he's got the beefcakeness that Alan Richardson just has. Like I don't think he's got them genetics.
Also, I looked it up. Alan Richardson is 6'3".
Hmm.
So it's not the thing where he's like 5'10" in that build. He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it unless you're doing so like a little bit of camera work, anyone's just gonna pale in comparison.
Yeah, like and in a suit, I think he would look fine. But it's like, and then like in the Batman suit, he would look massive, which is like kind of the point. But then like if there's any times where he's just working on the Batcave and he's like just in a t-shirt, then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, there's the beefcake, you
Right.
know?
Or that or, they'd get one shirtless scene of him, just doing a quick workout or something.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, I love him. I
Yeah,
want him to succeed. So, if he wants to be Batman, fuck it, let him be Batman.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he would do too bad of a job. I think he's probably like so for my taste, Cornsweat's a little bit too old to be Batman. I think he's too old, or Superman. I think he's a little too old to be Batman, like for a new universe, personally. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain about beef. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, for sure. He was such a good Hawk in Titans. He really was.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that new movie he's gonna be in with Henry Cavill, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That movie's got just so much beef. I'm gonna have a fucking meat sweat afterwards.
Yeah. It looks pretty fucking unhinged too, honestly. But like
Hmm.
in a good way.
Yeah, like in the weird Guy Ritchie way.
Yeah. That I mean that's gotta be out soon, right? When
It's
is that?
coming out, I think, this week or next week. It's sometime in April.
Yeah, April 19th.
Nice. Let us know down below though if you think Alan Richardson would be a good Batman or who you want him to be. If you're like, I actually really like the idea of him being a beefy Hal Jordan,
An
which it's
interesting
like,
take.
he's a military boy, where you're like, no, I think he just needs to be the Atom, like the old Golden Age one.
Elastic Man. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, what?
Like Mr. Mix-up, please.
That would be so funny. All right,
Uh,
so Rob Liefeld is writing a memoir, and he claims it's going to be a tell-all about Marvel and Image. So, if you want to hear about Rob's experiences at Marvel and Image, then there you go.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that could be really interesting. It'd probably be a lot of bullshit, but I would check it out if it's like cheap on Kindle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they'll do like $5 books. I'm like, fuck, I would buy that for $5.
yeah, I think it would be interesting, but I think you're right. It would be a lot of bullshit. It would be Rob like his because he's retiring from Deadpool this year. I think
Hmm.
a memoir is like kind of his last hurrah of relevancy, and I don't even mean that in like a mean way. It's just like if he's if he's backing off of projects here and there, then he would need something like this for people to keep talking about him, right?
Yeah.
So
And while we're on the subject, though, of Mr. Rob Liefeld, Olivia Wilde and Margot Robbie are adapting Evangeline. Is that how you say it?
Evangeline, I think.
Evangeline. So they don't have a home for it yet, but yeah, they're working together on adapting that.
I would be so surprised if it gets made. I pulled up a picture of Evangeline, but it's like, come on. It's not gonna be that. She's
Margot Robbie wearing that would get butts in seats.
Oh, it absolutely would. And I hope that it is. I just don't think that it will be. I think it's gonna be
No,
a
I
little
don't
more
think so
covered.
either. I have a feeling it's gonna be a we're gonna slap the creator from the creator of Deadpool on this and gonna kind of give it early 2000s comic book movie type things where we aren't gonna actually adapt much of it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If this gets made, it doesn't matter how good it looks. I'm gonna see
Yeah, I know.
it. And who
The
knows? An early 2000s action movie vibe could be good because I
hmm
like a lot of those
Yeah.
things.
The one worry I have is, and this might, because I think she's done two movies, Olivia Wilde, like she's directed two movies, and it's the the big the one that people like was I think it was called Booksmart, maybe. It was like with the two girls that were in high school. It's supposed to be kind of like people compare it to Super Bad, but with girls, and it's supposed to be really funny and really good. But then she did that movie with Chris Pine and Harry Styles, and just awesome cast. And then it was just like shit, utter shit, and everyone hated it.
Well, okay, was that the one that ended up being like all about rape in like a weird way?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just know the big thing that people talked about was Harry Styles like allegedly spit on Chris Pine when they were promoting the movie. And everyone's like, "Did he spit?" And like there was like all these takes on Twitter. I'm like, that's all I know about this movie.
Wait, like spit on him in an insulting way?
Yeah, like oh,
Oh, well, that's fucking weird.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I'm trying to find the name of it. It might be,
I think it's like something "Die Die My Darling" or something. I think maybe. It
yeah,
could be a different movie too, but yeah,
yeah,
hold on.
whatever. It don't matter none. Yeah, the one you're thinking is like kill your darlings or
It's
die.
okay. Here it's Booksmart was the first one that I was talking about with the girls. It's supposed to be funny and good. And the other one's Don't Worry, Darling.
Okay.
Okay, so you got the big news this week. You scooped me on that. So I'll talk about the other two my other two things really quick and then we'll go from there. But actress Ayelet Zur, she was originally going to be recast, but she is actually returning as Vanessa in Daredevil. So that's pretty good. I mean, I liked her. I thought she was perfectly fine. Hopefully she gets more to do than just being like, here's this art, you blind bitch, to Daredevil.
Yeah. I thought this was pretty cool because she had been recast,
hmm
before the cleaning of the draining of the swamp, if you will. So I mean,
And
she was like you said, she was fine, just nothing to it's not like Karen coming back or
yeah,
anything.
speaking of, we got some set photos too. Did you see those, or were you just trying to avoid them?
Now I saw the one that old Johnny Bernthal posted, but it's not that wasn't necessarily a set photo. That was the three of them sitting in their,
Yeah,
chairs.
I saw one where it was like fighting, actual like in costume Daredevil and Punisher and stuff too. And then there's
They're fighting each other again.
I think if I remember right, I was just like, oh, this is neat. It was, wasn't anything that was like, oh my God, what's going. So I'm just like, yeah, Daredevil and Punisher are in the room together. They're probably gonna fight.
Right.
That's why we have to do this via Zoom. Me and Jake are the same way.
Yeah. We're always fighting.
Fighting or fucking.
Okay, okay. Good Lord.
Oh man. So, and then lastly, Sam Raimi wants to direct Avengers Secret Wars. Like I've seen this a bunch where it's like, yeah, Sam Raimi really wants to do this. Sam Raimi's being eyed to do this. Yeah, maybe Sam Raimi's going to do this. Uh, it's got to happen, right? Like that would be like because like we've seen rumors of like I said like of him being eyed for it. That would be like if we saw a rumor that like James Gunn was like I'm eyeing Alan Richardson to be Batman, and then then Alan's like I want to be Batman. It's like well, this is like a perfect storm, isn't it?
Right. I I mean, if I could have someone do it, I think it'd probably be him. I think that would make the movie more enjoyable than if it were, one of Marvel's other directors. However, we've talked about this before. Nobody liked his Doctor Strange except for you, me, and Mike. So, like, at least
Yeah.
I think you saw it, didn't you?
I did. I saw it in
Okay.
theaters. I think that was no, I saw Guardians after that. But it's like the one downside to having Sam Raimi do it is like unlike a lot of the other directors they get, Sam Raimi's got a voice. So it's like you
Mhm.
have to like that style. Like I can see where people like complain about Doctor Strange, but it's like he didn't write it. He
Yeah.
just he just fucking directed it and then made it feel like a Sam Raimi movie. So I have a feeling the Avengers Secret Wars will feel like a Sam Raimi movie. So it's like if you don't like that style, then yeah, I can see why you wouldn't like that. There's someone though that was like online was like, but Sam didn't even watch he didn't even watch the Scarlet Witch and the Vision, like that WandaVision. She's like he didn't even watch that, and he then that's why she's so bad. It's like if you don't like the way she's written in that movie, it's not his fault. He didn't write it.
Yeah. And also, I loved how they handled her in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want me to be and only me to be excited about it, Marvel, then you'll make it happen.
But Bruce Campbell needs the work, so just hire Sam, please.
Yeah, but gosh, he only had that cameo in the other one, and
Well,
it was post credit.
no, it wasn't just post credit. He had it was a double.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's
Yeah,
just one of the post credits was him.
yeah.
But
It's just he always gets the random cameo.
yeah. All right. And the bombshell news of the week that you've all heard of already because this is several days after. Julia Garner has been cast as Silver Surfer, but the Shala Ball version, who's the Lady Surfer. And boy, the day that that news dropped, the comments were the Wild West.
Dude, okay, so have you seen Ozark?
No.
Okay. She's in that and she yells and cusses a lot. She's got a southern accent. I'll send you some of the memes because there's this one part where she just yells like it's like if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to fucking tell
Oh,
me.
I know that. I
And,
know that audio line.
and there's like the like Fantastic Four. Don't bring Galactus here, and then it's that part.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So this is like a little bit of a tangent, but a couple years ago, whenever Pokemon Legends Arceus came out on the Switch, must have been about the time that that part of Ozark was coming out because uh what's his name? Not Parasect, Paris, the little crab guy from Gen 1 Pokemon was in Legends Arceus, and his temperament was he was very angry and territorial, but he's also very weak, right?
Hmm.
So they would do a clip of one like looking at you and showing his claws and coming at you, and they would use that voice line too. And it
Nice.
just fucking tickled me pink. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Didn't know that that's who said it.
Yeah, and then there's another one too. I'll send the memes to you because they were giving me some chuckles. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck Marvel's doing. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, we do. They did that so everybody would talk about it.
I mean, I guess, but it's just stupid. Because it's like you're hurting yourself more by casting her because it's like, I mean, she's a great actress, but first off, you don't really need a great actress to play a fucking Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
You need someone with a monotone voice that's very good at doing that.
Yeah. Me.
Yes,
Hire
perfect.
me as Silver
That
Surfer.
and then like
But bald cap, please.
yeah, yeah. There was a stupid what if that silly one that I always talk about. Like, what if the Silver Surfer had hair? And it's like he's still Silver Surfer. He just got like a big mop head, like it's just covering his eyes. But no, it's really like to me, it just kind of came off as like they Googled girl Silver Surfer because it's like if they wanted a female Herald, which is dumb anyway, because like for the first go around, just use Silver Surfer and then branch off from there when he gets his sequel, then bring in Terrax and Nova and all that. But it's like use Nova. She's the one that's like been used. Like this was what? Like everyone, because I've not seen this version and I was reading online, it's from Earth X. They're doing that 100% because it's like they just Googled girl Silver Surfer. Like, oh, hey, this one existed. Like that's how it comes across. It doesn't come across as like anything genuine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. And we're right back in this terrible fucking cycle where us as proper nerds who have read Marvel cosmic stuff, we're like, well, it's dumb because of comic reasons. But if we say that, we're bigots and, misogynists.
Well, like it's not just dumb for comic reasons. Like you can, I can see where someone would be like, oh, actually, because whatever, like it is dumb for comic reasons, but it's also just dumb from a business perspective. Because it's like you need like the Fantastic Four, in my opinion, needs to do fucking well.
Hmm.
Like it not only needs to do well, it needs to like make people go, "Oh, the Fantastic Four, the first family, they're my new favorite." Like who needs Tony Stark? This is the shit, you know? And then they cast like a 50-year-old to be one of the main characters, which is like that's weird. They're not going to stick around very long, are they? Unless he's going to, be 70 when he does his big old thing where he dies. But
Yeah.
but then they're like, oh yeah, our one of our most iconic characters that came out of the Fantastic Four stuff. Let's change it up. It's like the only way they can make it worse is if they're like, we're gonna cast like a clown to be Galactus again. Like so that worked really well.
Yeah. I uh I completely agree. If they like it started off strong where they were like, we want this to do well because Pedro.
Hmm.
The other castings, whatever. Because if you have him, people are gonna go see it. But it's like with each casting one that's come after, it's starting to lose that feeling a little bit. Well, it's like, okay, well, it was just fine, but now maybe not so much because there's gonna be people they're gonna be like, that's so fucking stupid. I'm not gonna see it now.
Yep. And I'm adamant that having the Galactus as your first villain is just a dumb move.
It's the
You don't
dumbest move.
the only way like I'd be fine with it is if he was an after credit thing. If they're like
Hmm.
building it up and then like throughout you had old like I'm blanking on the actress's name, but if she's like coming through every once in a while yelling like I don't know shit about fuck, Galactus is coming, and flying through. That was a line from Ozark that I don't know shit about fuck. But she's like, flying through randomly, and then at the end she does the beacon or whatever, and then she's like, Galactus will be here. Like then that would be fine. But just starting off with Galactus, who's not even like an evil villain. He's just a force of nature. It's a poor decision.
Yeah, I like, people joke and whatever about Mole Man, but he really would be a good first villain. He
He would
doesn't he
be.
doesn't have to be a goofball or anything like that. Like I know he looks like not a serious character, but if you want a fucking movie to show these guys coming together and working as a team for the first time in this capacity, then fucking use Mole Man.
Like, and you can be like, oh yeah, Mole Man, he's looks silly and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, you know who'd be a really good Mole Man? And I know I'm typecasting him, but fucking Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
You get Danny DeVito going like creep factor like he was when he was the Penguin. It's perfect. There you go.
Hmm.
And then you get just awesome monsters that and like that the Fantastic Four can fight a bunch and all that stuff. It'd be awesome. It works so much better.
Yep. I would have liked Mole Man, second movie, Super Scroll, something a little more serious. And also I just love that
I
character.
know you
But
do.
but definitely more imposing. And then third movie Galactus, and then they're done.
So I think I didn't watch it, but it sounds like they kind of got ruined with Secret Invasion, but I
They
could be
did.
wrong on that. Okay, I didn't
They
watch
did.
it, but
I
it
did.
it didn't sound good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you do, man? They're not going to make something accurate. They're just not.
Yeah. Let us know down below though, guys. Are you excited for Fantastic Four still? Do you think this is good casting? Did you like her in Ozark? Do you hope she screams a lot like she does in Ozark?
Man, like at this point, I really the only thing I can say I'm looking forward to is more Daredevil.
Hmm.
Will I watch other stuff? Sure. What am I excited for though? It's just Daredevil. And if they're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Fuck it. The other Netflix shows they're back too. Then I'm like, absolutely, let's do this.
Yeah. I mean, odds are like because it's kind of a pain in the ass to go to the movies anyway. People are dumber at the movies than they were pre-COVID, and it's expensive. I'm just like, unless we get Madam Web 2, I don't know if I'm gonna be going back to the theater to see a superhero movie in a
Hmm.
while. Unless it's something like, I mean, I'm gonna give the Gunverse a try when that flops, but other than that, it's like none of the Marvel ones are piquing my fancy, except
Yeah.
for more Madam Web.
Yeah. I'll I know you won't. I will go see the Batman too. Looking forward to that. But
I I might see that.
yeah, I don't know. It's just to the point where like it's either gotta be Daredevil, which won't be in the movie theater, or it's gotta be a DC movie.
Yeah. And you saw some shitty ass DC movies, Black Adam.
Yeah, I didn't even hate that as much as most people.
I couldn't even get through it.
Yeah.
And I watched all of Madam Web.
Yeah.
So speaking of The Rock, really quick, I saw a tweet and I'm gonna share this. It's very dirty, but they were like, The Rock just comes off as the type of guy that's when he's having sex with a woman, he'll pull out and come on himself.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
But I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it, but yeah, I get it.
I did see his the little thing with the Undertaker though.
Yeah.
I guess that happened over the weekend.
Yeah, WrestleMania was this weekend. I watched both nights. It was pretty fun. It was like
I
that
thought I
main
thought
event was dumb.
Undertaker retired. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, he
Oh, okay.
retired. He retired. He just showed up. That's why he was in sweats. He's like, I'm not putting all that fucking dumb costume back on. I'll put some fucking sweats on for you though.
So did he win it all then, or
No, he just had a cameo, basically. Like,
Okay. Who
it,
won?
it was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and it was bloodline rules match, which just meant no disqualification. And Cody ended up winning because it was like Cody and Roman were going back and forth, beating the hell out of each other, and then one of the Usos came out, which you don't, that means nothing to you. And then the other Uso, and like, he interrupts Cody and then starts beating up on him. And then the other Uso comes out and they start beating up on each other. Yeah, the two Usos are fighting each other because they're brothers and they don't like each other at this moment. And then Solo Sikoa comes out and he beats up Cody some, and then John Cena comes out, he beats up on Solo, and then fucking The Rock comes out and he beats up fucking like, it's such a fucking mess. Then he beats up Cena, and then Seth Rollins comes out and he just gets his ass kicked by The Rock, and then Undertaker came out and beat up The Rock.
Cena's back in wrestling too now.
So what Cena said in an interview was like, he's like, yeah, I'm booked after WrestleMania until Christmas time, but he's like, but I'm gonna try to tell Hollywood just to give me a break and I'll finish up my wrestling career. Which I'm like, ah, that's neat. Like, I'm not gonna lie though, and I don't mean this as any, like, I'm not the biggest Cena fan, but he's where like The Rock, since he's just like on all of the steroids, fucking clearly he just looks bigger and beefier than he ever did when he was like wrestling the first time. Like, Cena's like looks smaller, he looks older, like he looks like someone that's, you know, honestly 35, but like he's, I think he's 45 or some shit like that. I don't know how old he is, but it's like, yeah, he's
46.
okay. So yeah, like he looks 10 years younger than what he is, but at the same time it's like, yeah, he's aged.
Yeah. I mean, I agree though. I think he does look a healthier 46 than some of these other guys.
Oh, yeah, like wrestlers look like shit when they get older. Like Undertaker was like, I mean, he looks better now since he's slowing down and doesn't have to wrestle, anymore. But like, there's times where these guys, you're like, I was like, Undertaker's only a year older than my dad when he was wrestling, like, and he was wrestling. I'm like, dude, you look like you're gonna die at any second. I know you're a zombie or whatever, but still, man.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, you hear stories like he gets hurt pretty bad, or like as soon as he gets backstage, he just collapses. It's
yeah,
like, dude, just stop. Do you
right?
need the money or like what's going on?
It's like, I mean, a lot of it's I think they're addicted to it.
Yeah. But anyway, good for Cody Rhodes. I remember when he was not a very big name, and now he's
Hmm.
winning WrestleMania. So good for
Hell
him.
yeah.
All
But
right, enough
what
about
drink this week?
wrestling.
Yeah. This will be the WrestleCast. Jake's just
All
like, I
right.
have to fucking watch all 3 hours of Raw every week now.
No way. All right. So I read Doctor Strange 14, Sensational She-Hulk 7, The One Hand number 3, Birds of Prey number 8, The Sacrificers number 7, Dark Souls The Willow King number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog Fang the Hunter number 3, and Immortal Thor number 9.
Oh, no Shazam this week?
Nope. I guess I didn't pick that one up.
Yeah. And then you skipped out on Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2.
Yeah, dude, I had a fucking stack here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you had more than me actually. But Batman 146, King Kong the Great War number 5, Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number or 2, number 1. I fucking hate when they do that.
Yeah,
Shazam number 10, Doctor Strange 14, the sensational She-Hulk number 7 with the thirst trap cover. Uh,
absolutely.
and then the one hand issue 3. So yeah, you had I think one or two more than me.
All right. I'll start off with Thor #9, which I gotta show the cover. Alex Ross going as hard as he ever did.
Oh, I like that cover. I've seen
Yeah,
that one in the back of in like, middle of books and stuff being advertised.
yeah.
Looks too good.
Um, so yeah, this one was like a pretty action heavy episode issue. Art's just cool as all hell. Oh yeah, it's written by Al Ewing with art by oh come on now. Uh Abram Robertson. So yeah, this is Thor crashing into uh Dario Agger's office and threatening him essentially because he saw a future when he was talking to Gaia last issue about Roxxon taking over the world and what that would look like. And Thor is the protector of Midgard, so he's not going to let that happen. But anyway, he gets caught up in some illusion magic because the Enchantress and the Executioner are working alongside the Minotaur. And it's just a big fight between Thor and Scourge, and then eventually Enchantress shows up. And in this issue, they're showing this Roxxon presents Thor right here.
Hmm.
That's actually going to be a real comic. It's going to be like 1 or 2 issues that Marvel puts out, which I think is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Um, And then at the end, the Roxxon Thor shows up, and you just see like the cape and an arm with the hammer, but the hammer says Roxxon on it. Um, so yeah, we're gonna get some more comicception, I think, with actual Thor versus Roxxon Thor, which could be pretty dope. So yeah, I like it. I liked it. This was one of the better issues here lately, and that's saying something. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Really good.
Nice. Pick of the week.
No.
Huh. So Batman 146 by Chip Zdarsky with Jimenez on the art, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jorge Jimenez on the art. Um, yeah, you get a little bit of backstory. Stuff doesn't really make sense. I mean, like they're trying, but like it's like, oh yeah, the reason why Penguin faked his death is because Joker told him to, but it's like that doesn't seem very Jokery. Joker would just kill like just the Penguin would just die. Like it wouldn't just, he wouldn't help him fake his death. He would just kill him. But yeah, because Joker found out about the holes are in our thing, and he wanted that to all happen. But we do get a sighting of our favorite character, and I'm gonna read their lines. You can find it because it's just our favorite. It's just the best. And I was so excited. I'm like, I wish Jake was reading this book just so he could do this with me. Let's see if you can guess who
I
it
already
is.
know who it
I
is,
know you
but go
do.
on.
So this our favorite character gets captured by the robots. And he's like, "Oh, you leave it to Gotham cops to hire robot fascists." Punchline. She'll give them something else to focus on while I make my move. And then he starts fighting the robots. Oh, he's like, "Didn't even give me my fucking phone call." And then he fights the robots a little bit, and then it's like, then she's like, "What the fuck? Batman? Then who was that robot?" And then Joker's like, "Oh, punchline, how I've missed you." And I was like, "Me too, Joker." She's like, "Joker, what happened to you?" "I'm right as rain, dearie." He's like, "I'll get us out of here." "Of course you will, but first we should have some fun." And they just started having sex. It was weird. No, I'm joking. But but then they, released a bunch of bad guys to fight Batman, and it's just like it's fine. We're still getting fail-safe shit. And it's hard for me to care about it. Like they went,
Thanks for solidifying that I do not need to pick it up.
yeah. I mean, it's like the worst part is it's like this is taken the failsafe stuff's taken so long that it's like hard for me to like it was hard for me to care about it when it happened the first time, but it's like at least now it's showing what's happening in Gotham with the fail, with Zur and our failsafe. Because like last time, it's like, yeah, failsafe won, and now he's recharging his batteries, I guess, because Batman's doing a whole bunch of other shit,
Dude, we're talking like 3 trade volumes later.
right? Stupid. So at least now they're you're seeing what's going on. Like that's the one plus, but it's nothing about it to really write home about. I'm just kind of like I'm just left going, this is fine. So fine, I'm gonna give it a 6 because the art is very good. And we get to see our favorite character again.
All right, Sonic the Hedgehog, Fang the Hunter, #3. It's written by Ian Flynn with art by Thomas Roethlisberger. So Robotnik is captured, Fang and his friends, and tells them that, what's he called them? I think they're called the hard-boiled heavies or something like that. But anyway, he put the hard-boiled heavies on this new gunship that he designed to test it, and the ship keeps disappearing and popping back into this plane of existence. And Robotnik's like, I'll set you free if you promise to go find them and figure out what they've been up to. So they agree, and they go and they fight the heavies. And Fang finally thinks that he's found the 8th Chaos Emerald, and that's what's making the heavy ship disappear. But it just turns out to be a warp topaz, which has been in the series, the regular series, a time or two. But yeah, Fang grabs the topaz and the heavies have them surrounded, and that's how it ends. So I think there's only one more issue left of this because most of the Sonic spin-offs are just 4 issues. So I think it's just going to end with him realizing, oh, the thing that I thought this was just the topaz. And Sonic's probably going to show up to fight everybody. But it's still pretty fun. I I could be totally wrong. Maybe he'll throw a curveball and there will be another emerald. I hope not, because there's just been way too much Sonic lore where there's only 7. But we'll see what happens. I'm still liking it a lot. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice, man. I just thought something really stupid. What if instead of a Chaos Emerald, it was like just a regular emerald?
Yeah, just
It's
a
just like,
plain old green emerald.
yeah, it was like, yeah, what's this do? It's like, it just helps you with your 9 to 5. It's just like, oh man, I can focus a lot on this paperwork that I need to do.
Right.
It's like, okay, I've made a perfect cup of coffee.
That's something that they would throw in these books, though.
It's like, I mean, that is like a dumb, slightly adult joke though, instead of like a kid joke. So that's the one problem with it actually appearing in the book. It's like
True.
kids don't care about 9 to 5s. Okay, King Kong: The Great War by Alex Cox and Tommaso Bianchi. And yeah, like I said, I really thought this book was done, but it's not, and it's still good. We get it's World War I guys on Skull Island. More of them die. I thought they had all, like I said, thought they all died in the last issue. Um, but yeah, they're gonna actually go to the village next time. It's good. Like this is such a neat book because it's like such a different take on Kong. Kong's just like an angry ass animal just fucking these guys up. It's cool. I like this book. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
All right. Dark Souls, The Willow King, #3, written by George Mann with art by Mon House. Gosh, I just love the art so much in this book. It's just so good. Um, but yeah, it's just our group of heroes has already lost a member fighting through hordes of the undead and monsters. And spoiler alert, they end up losing another one of their members. So the remaining two go on, and they get a formal invitation to speak to the Willow King face to face, which they were not expecting. And so it just ends with them entering his throne room. So we'll see what happens next. But I like this book a lot, man. Casey and I were talking about it earlier. I like these Dark Souls comics. I wish they would do one for Elden Ring. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it another 8. It's good.
Well, I think like Dark Souls, the first one came out over 10 years ago, so you just gotta wait 10 plus
Is
years.
that all?
Okay, so Shazam issue 10, and this is by Joseph Campbell and Emmanuel Lupacino and Mike Norton on the art. Yeah, they're moving back into their house after, Zeus made it bigger, and then it's like in Zeus fashion though, he's like made the closet like just his own little room that he can hang out in. And then it's like, oh yeah, he's like, I also told the other gods that they can do their own little like dimension gateways that, and then that caused a bunch of problems. And Mary and the captain have to team up. And it's like, I'm not a fan of the art, but I'm a fan of the stuff that they do with the panels. So like, like
Mm-hmm.
this. I think that's cool. I don't know. The art doesn't do it for me as much as, you know, Dan Morris
Dan
did.
Mora.
Like that's like an impossible follow-up in my opinion, but
Yeah.
that's the one downside. Joseph Campbell's a good writer. It's just like this was a fine first issue to start up with. It's still good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the art's gonna take a little bit getting used to. And so for that, I'm gonna say 7.5, but I have a feeling it's just gonna get better.
And I'm sorry, did you say it was Lupacino still or somebody else on the art?
Uh, it is so we had two different groups or two different people. Yeah, you had Emanuela Lupacino and Mike Norton.
Oh, Mike Norton. Okay. I mean, two solid artists for sure.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It just didn't quite do it for me.
All right. The Sacrificers number 7 by Rick Remender and Max Fiamara. This whole issue was all about, oh, what is her name? Fuck. I can't find it anyway. Luna, that's her name. She's the daughter of the sun and moon, god and goddess of this world. But it's just her origin story. And Remender is telling it to you while it's showing her running away from home, which she did in the last issue. So, she's being tracked by castle guards and like trying to climb mountains and getting fucked up on thorn bushes. This weird, like, ink monster finds her and fucking goes into her mouth and like throws her off a cliff. And like, that's how it ends. It was very wild. So I guess there's going to be some sort of possession stuff going on with her character. And I'm curious how that's going to play out. But like most of the issue, she's running away. She's climbing these obstacles. She's getting hurt over and over and over. She finally gets to the top of this mountain and there's a tree with berries. She starts eating the berries. They're poisonous. She throws up. Then the ink monster like enters. It's just she went through the fucking ringer this issue.
Yeah.
But very good stuff. Rick knows how to tell an origin story. He knows how to write mythology for this world he's created. And it's just really fucking good. This book was on hiatus for a while because they finished up the first arc and now the second one's starting. I'm just really glad that it's back because I like this book a lot. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Alrighty, so Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #2, issue 1 by Colin Bunn and Baltimore Rivas. I like it. It's a solid first issue. We get the White Ranger this time, which it's like White Ranger's super cool, and he fights Godzilla for a bit. Um, he kind of talks to the Power Rangers. There's some cool, like the art. I don't know. It's cool, but it's also like sloppy. But it's like I'll just find a like. There's Godzilla, looks cool, but then like
Very cool.
some like I'll try to find like right here. I'm not a fan of the way the White Ranger like it's just I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like I get he's trying to like showcase movement and all that type of stuff. It just doesn't really do it for me. But it's a solid first issue. I want to show this to you too because at the very end, Rita Repulsa was like talking about how she can make people more powerful, and then she goes, I'll just read it to you. It's like, don't waste time and effort posturing with me. Your Psycho Rangers are impressive, yes, but thanks to my magic and my gifts, they could be so much more. Wouldn't you agree, Psycho Ranger Ghidorah? It's like, you said a mouthful, send us out. And then I want to show you that design, see what your opinion is on that.
Ooh. I mean, the kid in me sure loves it.
Yeah, it's like,
It
I'm like,
not as cool as regular Ghidorah, but
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, it's kind of a downgrade. I think it's a more and easily, probably easier controlled for her. But yeah, it's just the look of it. It's kind of a downgrade. But yeah, it's a solid first issue. Didn't knock my socks off, but it's also, perfectly adequate. So I'm gonna go probably another 8. I'm handing out lots of 8s like they're candy.
well, sometimes, man, it's just a solid week for books, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, Birds of Prey, #8. It's written by Kelly Thompson, and the art is by Javier Pina. So yeah, we're still doing the lingerie thing. They're modeling it, and there's just a whole bunch of beefcake dudes in there too. Um, and then surprise, all the beefcake dudes are under mind control and they start attacking. And at some point, Barda gets just butt naked. You know, they cover up her butt with like a Barda helmet, which is kind of funny. But it turns out all these dudes are just some kind of weird alien creature thing because why wouldn't they be? So now it's okay for them to just beat the fuck out of them. And Canary does her canary cry and like obliterates them. Uh, and the whole time I'm thinking, none of this really makes any damn sense. And then there's a part where Cassandra's like, none of this really makes any damn sense. And I'm like, oh, okay, Kelly Thompson's doing this on purpose then.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then this portal opens up. And like, okay, before I say that, it's been a thing between Barbara uh and Dinah that Barbara was a little salty that Dinah didn't ask her to be on the team. And then Dinah's like, well, it's because the time traveler on the team whose name I can't remember ran the scenario blah 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 times, and like every time you died, like there wasn't a time where we kept you alive, so that's why I kept you out of it. Um, well, Barbara shows up to help fight these aliens. And then at the end, after Cassandra's like, none of this makes sense, a portal opens up and like these weird energy tentacles grab Barbara and yank her into the portal. And Dinah's like, well, fuck, what we thought was we avoided is now happening. So Dinah's like, okay, under no circumstances are any of you allowed to follow me. And she jumps into the portal. And then the last page is like all of them like, fuck that. And they all walk into the
Yeah.
portal. Um, so yeah, I like it was funny and it was good. And then I was like, man, I don't know what's happening here. But then she's like, no, 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 stick with me. Nothing's making sense yet. And then the portal thing happened. So I'm still on board. The art in this is like really fucking good. I was bummed when um Leonardo Romero was just doing the covers and not the interiors because they were doing the interiors for the whole first arc and it was just so good. But I mean the art in this is real good.
Yeah, I like that.
So I'm all on board with it. I'm looking forward to when, whatever happens in the next one. I'm always just so excited when it's a Birds of Prey week. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Probably the weakest book so far, but still an enjoyable time.
Nice. I just got our Muchis left.
Me too.
All right. Here's the order I got them in. This you want to do She-Hulk, the One Hand, and then Doctor Strange.
Sure.
All right. So She-Hulk issue 7 by Rainbow Rowell and Ig Guara on the art. Um, yeah, this I wasn't a fan. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing this issue did was make me hate Jack even more.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna say it. Bringing Jack into this, it's just like kind of ruined the series. And I
I,
don't mean ruined to the point where like I'm not gonna read it, but I I've said it how many times in a row now, dude. I'm just over him.
yeah.
He's not enjoyable.
No, it's just too much drama, and this issue was just like this is they went out of their way to try to find extra drama.
Hmm.
Like it just I don't know. It just really did not work for me, which is it's a surprise because Rainbow is very good at writing pointless drama. Like in Exile, she was really good at that. It's just this, I don't know. It's just like trying to find any spot that they can for the drama, and it just didn't work. Because it's like, because at the end of the day, and I mean this just most genuinely, it's like, and I know She-Hulk has bad luck with relationships, but it's like that's still fucking She-Hulk getting upset over Jack of Hearts. This upset over Jack of Hearts.
Yeah. Who who, by the way, like they say Jack has not seen this woman in years. And she comes back in and she's like, okay, I'm ready for us to be together now. And he's like, well, I did make a promise all those years ago. It's like,
Yeah,
what? I mean, that was just the
yeah, right.
dumbest fucking thing, man. In no real life scenario is that ever happening.
Nope. I mean, I will say it feels par for the course with Rainbow's writing of Jack, so it kind of works.
It
It's just
does. It
stupid.
does. It's just hard for me to think that Jen, like, she would be upset, but I just feel like she would be like, fuck you, and would just be like over him. But
Right.
we don't get that. I mean, she's like, I'm gonna go home, you figure out what you want to do about her. But that's not what I want. It's like, dude, Jack sucks. Just leave
Hmm.
him here in space. Who
We
cares if we never fucking see him again?
we need to be like She-Hulk's like, gal pals, like,
Hmm.
us and Patsy, like just dump his ass.
Yeah, because
Just
Patsy would say that here.
yeah.
And even Captain Marvel after the last couple issues, she'd be like, "Yeah, why are you with this guy?"
Yeah. The one thing with Captain Marvel though, she's too busy.
Yeah,
She's not gonna be gabbing like gals like me, you, and Patsy.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's super fucking lame, dude.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm so mad at it.
Yeah. No, five
Art's
is
good, by the way.
yeah, the art's good. And it's just like since they did the sensational She-Hulk, like they restarted with the new number one, it's kind of been spinning its wheels. Like there's some like random issues that were good, but
Hmm.
nothing's really, and maybe this next issue that something big's gonna happen. It's gonna be awesome, and a lot of character development and stuff, but it's like not a lot's the status quo has stayed the same pretty much. Like there's been good issues, but nothing's really changed. And
I'm waiting for that issue because it can and probably will happen any time where it's really fucking good and you and I are going to be like, here it is, we're back in.
yeah, it's just this one was rough. The last issue was pretty rough, but that Patsy and Captain Marvel, those two issues, I think it was just two, maybe might have been three, but
Hmm.
those were fun. But
Yep.
still, like not a lot's happened. So yeah, I'm probably at a 4.5. 4.5, 5 in that area. It's just, kind of a letdown.
Yep. Okay. Now we've got the One Hand number 3 by Ramby and Lawrence Campbell. This was a crazy issue, man. What'd you
Hmm.
think of this? Did you like it?
Fucking loved it, dude. This book and then Six Fingers, it's like I feel like I'm the target audience. It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm super into it. I'm super just like here for the ride. I'm excited for the like I'm so like I got mad when I opened up and they're like, oh yeah, April 24th is when the Six Fingers comes out. I'm like, why do I have to wait this long?
Yeah, I know. I feel that. It's yeah, I don't know, man. There's nothing really to say about it. There's just the stakes get upped here. More people are getting killed that are tied into the murders, and it's just like, fuck, how's he gonna do it? You know?
Hmm.
Now art is incredible.
Art's great. The story's great. This is my pick of the week. It's surprising no one. It's 10 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It's also my pick of the week.
Nice. I see. I was like maybe this will be, but I really thought our next comic was going to be your pick of the week because it's Doctor Strange by Jed McKay and Pascal Ferry on the art with the wonderful Alex Ross cover.
Hmm.
Um, like just really quick, you need to talk to Brian and have him, if you get a Doctor Strange blank cover, have him draw these guys because he just goes so hard on the dang D&D stuff. Like
Yeah,
it would look awesome.
I totally agree. I love the design so much. The I have a lot of good to say about this. The only reason it's not my pick of the week and rated higher is that it's over too soon.
I get that. It was also obvious as hell what was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Um, but it's like I've assembled this team. And then in this issue, there's like no Black Cat. She shows up at the end, she's like, I got the book. But
Yeah,
like I kind of wanted like an issue where they're each like doing something in the game or something like that.
yeah. I get that, but like I get why they also didn't use Black Cat because they were trying to make you forget about Black Cat until she saves the day. Because like Mordo, kept going like, "Oh, I can beat these guys so easy because it's a a fighter and a priest or whatever, and then like doesn't mention the thief. So I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, Black Cat's gonna steal the book. Like
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna be.
yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where like I if I were doing this arc, I would have handled it a little differently. But
Hmm.
I'm not doing the arc, so whatever. This was Pascal Ferry at his best in this series for me.
Hmm.
I've been a little more lukewarm on his art than you have, but I think he uh went sicko mode on this issue, and it was really good. And I
Yeah,
did like the end where uh Steven gives the game to whatever his name is, General Strange or whatever.
yeah.
Um, but another knock against the book, man. So Mordo gets thrown into the Crypt of Shadows with bats and the snakes, but we're not going to get anywhere near that until after Blood Hunt.
I mean, it might happen during Blood Hunt too, since they're dealing with the vampires and all that crap.
Maybe, but I mean, also, it's been issues and they haven't touched on it yet. So I won't be too surprised if they
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, cool. Doctor Strange is just like, where is my dog anyway?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was really good though. I'm still giving it a 9. I just want more. Is all it comes
Yeah.
down to.
I don't know how I feel about this whole like, oh yeah, to find out what happens next, read Blood Hunt along with Doctor Strange and all the tie-ins. Like that shit just bothers me. But yeah,
But
I
here's the
thought
thing though, is I probably am going to read the core Blood Hunt and a couple
I'm
others because Jed is doing it and I like Jed.
yeah, I mean there's a good like I was planning on it. It just annoys me, but the tie-ins, I'm not gonna check out those except for Doctor Strange because I'm reading that.
I I am obligated to read Union Jack the Ripper based on the title alone.
Yeah. Where are you at with this?
I gave it a 9.
Oh, okay. I'm 8.5 probably. But what are you excited about coming up, man?
Not a big week for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Batman First Night #2, Batman and Robin #8, and Thundercats #3.
I was hoping you're gonna be like Batman Dylan Dog #2, so you just have the all Batman. I'm gonna say Incredible Hulk. Um, yeah, Green Lantern, and then Wolverine.
Yeah,
All right, so you over the I'm gonna say past what 3 or 4 years, you've become like basically Mr. Wedding between you getting married and then having like everyone except for me get married. So,
it's true.
what would be like 4 characters that you would want at a wedding, like comic book characters? And you can be like, oh, I hate this person, so I want them to have a terrible wedding, so I want these guys there. Or you're like, I love this person, I want this character here. Or you're like, I love this person, but I don't love the person they're marrying, so I want this person here because I know they'll break up the wedding.
Pretty interesting. I didn't look ahead at this. I didn't have anything prepared, but I want to try to go the more positive route. I'm trying to think of like a comic character that I would want to be like the planner, because the planner is also there that day to make sure everything is going as
Hmm.
planned. So it's like, who would be a good character for that? Any
Hmm.
ideas?
Arcade.
Arcade. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone that would like overanalyze everything. Maybe like
Amadeus
Oracle.
Cho. Oh yeah, Oracle too.
Yeah. Yeah, Cho would be a good one. Cho, Oracle, probably Dazzler for the reception, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then hmm, Man, this one's tough. This one's tough. You can go ahead.
I
I
mean,
don't want there to be silence.
Batman for sure, because he's gonna do something dumb. Like, he's gonna beat up your uncle because your uncle he like just saw him really quick. It's like, oh, you're he's clearly a Batman villain, and then he's gonna beat him up. It's like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm paying for all of the booze, you know? He can run up that tab, then you don't have to worry about
Right.
it. And then I'm like, poison ivy. You don't need flowers that way. Or swamp thing. If you want either or,
Yeah. Very
either
nice.
either of them would be pretty good. Like I wouldn't want to invite, Animal Man because he would be then telling you how like, don't like no one here needs to be eating the meat dish. We'll eat the vegetarian dish, and like that's gonna be terrible.
Hmm.
So no one, eat the like don't invite Buddy Baker. Unless you don't like the couple getting married or they're a vegan couple. But I'm gonna say just for straight up fun, Hercules. Like he seems like he'd be the life of the party. Like as soon as it starts, stuff's kind of getting kind of boring. Even though he's sober now, which is just the stupidest thing. Gods shouldn't be going to AA, but but yeah. So I mean, he'd be the life of the party, and then let's see, who's someone that would be like a cool guy just to have be like the ring bearer. Green Lantern as the ring bearer, any of them.
Yeah, I like
get,
it. I like the choices.
get a Mogo though. That have that the planet Green Lantern be like, I have the ring.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, folks. So closing plugs, head on over to facebook.com/Two Worlds Podcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at two_worlds_PC and on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Let us know down below about, Alan Richardson as Batman, who you want to see at a wedding, what was some of your favorite comics this week, and anything else. If you're just like, I just want these guys to know they did okay this week. Let us know that too. I don't care. Just let us know. Let us know stuff.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but Casey needs to be my consort to the moon. So we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Consorting. Well, also really quick, check out the unboxings that I did on the old YouTube. But love you. Bye.